Hello and welcome to Bushcraft Bullshit episode 11. First of all, for those of you who participated in my giveaway of my badge, thank you for participating. That was fun, and I see them pop up around the world now from the ones who received them. Thank you, and some sent some stuff back. Thank you to you as well. There will be a giveaway on another point in time here on YouTube only. I want to kind of hit both YouTube and Instagram, so the next one will be YouTube. Today's episode is about a video that we are going to watch in a bit. I think that video is stupid. I don't think there really is any benefit to it in terms of outdoor survival and bushcraft. The fun part about the video is that I was one of the first to comment when the creator uploaded it. Kind of seems that if you are one of the first to comment, the creator will see it more, clearly, because it's not getting flooded or lost in all the comments. And they respond. And he responded to my skeptical comment on the video. He responded in typical bushcraft bullshit fashion with another question. We'll get to it all, but let's first see the video. And when we've watched it, let's try to look at alternatives that doesn't involve the gimmick he shows. So he's opening up a cigarette filter, pulling the filter out, putting it on his shoe, and melting it so he can transfer the striker part of the matchbox onto his shoe, duct tape some matches to his, flip thing on his shoe, so he can now travel with the matches in the duct tape. That's it. Let's see what the description on the video is. I had a really hard time trying to locate what's smart about this trick. The description is survival skills. Amazing life hack with matches for extreme conditions. Survival life hack and camping hashtags. Now, there was another creator who did this, I think it was a few days prior to him. He, of course, copied that, because the original poster of this gimmick that has resurfaced again, is my guess, got 40 million views. So why not try to hop in on that trend? But the original poster of this video, which this guy I'm talking about in this video copied, his whole angle on it was, if you don't have pockets, you can do this to keep your firelighting material safe in extreme conditions. Now, there are a lot of other options than doing this. Let's try to come up with alternatives to this gimmick survival hack. So what he had in the video was duct tape and matches and the filter of a cigarette. Since we're going to find alternatives, I'm not going to entertain the cigarette filter gimmick, because even though it's possible and it's probably fun enough to try and do, like a kid's party trick, it's not something for extreme conditions. It's not a life hack. It's not for survival. Maybe for camping, but Jesus Christ. Let's see some alternatives. Okay, so let's entertain the original idea that we do not have pockets, but we have duct tape and matches. So how are we going to transport it? Well, let's find out. Now, what we could do, so the striker on this doesn't deteriorate, is wrap the whole thing in duct tape. Just wrap it around and around and make it waterproof. Not very practical, but it's an option. The other thing is, we can remove the striker from here pretty easily with no tools. And then we actually have two strikers here, but then we can just wrap this whole thing in duct tape. Yeah. And that seems like the most logical option. I'm going to face the striker part down so as not to ruin it with the adhesive from the duct tape. Now, probably this can be a bit of a bitch to unfold, but now you have a waterproof container. This is the most logical thing and closest to his gimmick, I think we can come. And then you absolutely could just put it in here, or put it in your hat here. You could just hold it in your hand. There's a lot of options, and if it really were an extreme was an extreme situation, you wouldn't have this anyway, but we'll get to that. This is the more logical version instead of, gluing the striker on the sole of your foot. But then you ask, AB Bushcraft, what if I'm not stupid? What if I actually have the slightest idea what I'm doing? What if I actually want to learn some actual skills? Well, if that's the case, don't go to YouTube Shorts and write survival and bushcraft in the search bar, because then that shit will come up. So, what if you actually needed to prepare and you found yourself in an extreme situation? Just carry a lighter. That'll work in a lot of situations. And if you have tape it in. Put this in your sock. It really is an emergency. Get acquainted with a fire steel. That works. Wet. Regardless. Yeah. I'm at a loss for words. Let's poke more holes in it. Now, someone said they used to do this as a kid in the comments, and that's great. Leave it for the kids stuff. But don't market as survival and bushcraft for extreme situations. It's misleading, contrary to what these shorts or creators try to portray. Words actually matter. Definitions actually matter. I guess not, eh? So what's wrong with it? Well, taping a striker to your shoe, the thing that has contact with the ground every other step, to put something that important to your survival on your shoe in an extreme situation, it's not logical. Deteriorates, it gets wet, it falls off. Who says the filter goo melted thingy is that powerful of an adhesive? Why 3 matches? Why, there's a lot of stupid questions. What if the ground is wet? What if you walk in rugged terrain and it falls off? Why put such a valuable resource in such a, exposed area? It doesn't make any sense. It's nothing to do with survival skill or an extreme situation. It's just stupid. And that's a given. Putting the matches there with an exposed sulfur head, feet get moist, when you walk, even if it's hot. Why take the risk if it's that kind of a situation you want to portray as an extreme one, and then do it's just no need to explain this any further, I think, because it is just. Let's just move on to the comments, because I thought that was pretty interesting. It was about 2.5 weeks ago, and I was one of the first to comment, and I saw him copying that other creator who did this as well. I did a short on this as well. But I said, oh God, you actually copied it. I just made a video about that yesterday. That's just crazy. There really is no limit to what is acceptable as survival, eh? So what about sweat, wet grass, water? What if the striker falls off? But let me guess, you're just showing us the idea. Big brain. At least give this creator some credit. And the copy creator does not disappoint. He comes back with a textbook engagement tactic. He says, what do you mean? And I said, I'm in, man. Let's make as many comments as possible on here. How is this a useful life hack for survival? So I'm in. Let's play the game you want to play. I don't care. Get the engagement. Go get it, bro. Get your engagement. You might see me use this sentence a lot. How is this useful life hack for survival? I used this a lot because that was the title before he changed it. He changed it to Survival Skills Amazing Life Hack with Matches for Extreme Conditions. But before he changed it, it was what I am reiterating all the time. This is a useful life hack for survival. That was the original title. So that's why you will see that specific phrasing. So how is this useful life hack for survival? He doesn't answer. I tag him again. Come on, man. Let's get some logical answers going. How is this a useful life hack for survival? Let me hear your thoughts. I wanted to hear his logical approach to this, and I'm reiterating that original title he had first. He didn't answer again. I'm still waiting, dude. Let me hear some logic. Why is this a useful life hack for survival? And I kept hopping on him because, I thought, oh man, I have his attention. I gotta ask. I'm not trying to be rude, but if you post something with a specific title like that, me as a viewer think it's ridiculous. Come on, man. Stand by your wording. Let me hear your thoughts behind it. Why is it the thing you say it is? Let's go, man. And he answers, finally, he says, why not? The typical keep going, deflect, ask a question back. And it's just, to keep the engagement going. Nah, man, I'm not playing that game. I asked first. You tell me in plain words why this is a useful life hack for survival situation. Why would you ever do this in a survival situation? It's your own words. Back them up with logic. He keeps doubling down. He asked me a question again. Have you been in extreme conditions? My viewers, I say, yes, I have been in somewhat extreme conditions throughout the years. Not something that is really life-threatening, not by any means, but, having to get warm in a cold situation, definitely. Wet situation, definitely. I'm trying to be polite here, but I'm pretty fed up, honestly. I remember answering this, late at night. I think it was about 1 or 2 p.m. in bed, and I was like, oh, man, come on. Don't do this. Just come on. Just have some cojones and back up what you say. And I said, kind of pleading with him, hey, I'm not falling for those tactics. Please answer the question. I see you changed your whole title on this as well. Smart move. But my question is still, why is this a useful life hack for survival situation? Let's hear logic and scenarios. He finally answers. He came through. Look, well, you can transfer the part of the matchbox to the sole of your shoes, and this can be useful in a situation where you often light matches and this place of the matchbox is deteriorated and the matches do not light. And in this situation, this life hack will help out. Yeah, that was his answer. We'll circle back to that. Let's just read the comments through. And I said, thank you for the answer. So you transfer the very important part of the matchbox onto the sole of your shoe to protect it. I will take this answer seriously because that is what you chose to say. You have matches, a matchbox, and duct tape. Why not wrap the matches and the striker surface in duct tape, as we did? Or just wrap the whole thing in tape? Why put the box and matches in tape and in your sock? Why place them on the shoe, a very movable and fast-paced object that scrapes against the forest floor and gets wet? Why not choose any of those options that are far more logical in a situation that is, honestly, from the start, very illogical? That was my answer to him. And he didn't answer. And I said, so what do you think about the alternatives? Why would you think the sole of the shoe was a good place? Ask him to keep going. Let's keep going. What do you think about my suggestions? How's this logical? Why not put the strike on a piece of tape or any of my other suggestions? And my last comment was no further comment, question mark, or any last statements on my questions. He did not answer me back. So let's circle back to his answer. His whole thing is if the matchbox deteriorates, you can transfer the part of the striker onto your sole of your shoe. Okay, let's lean into it. Deteriorated matchbox striker. Why not secure it to a piece of tape and then wrap it in tape to protect it? Why on the sole of your shoe? It's hard to, it's really hard to address this sort of decision and sort of comment because it's an open and shut case. He does this. It's stupid. Filter, striker, sole of shoe. He marks it as survival, bushcraft, and a useful life hack in extreme conditions. It's stupid. That's the whole... If he just skipped this part, extreme survival bushcraft, threw it away, just out the window, I would have no problem with it. It's like, you can do this. It's for fun. You can use your sole of your shoe as a striker. That's fucking great. You can even put camping on it. Why not? But extreme situations, useful life hack for survival. That is where I have... That box he puts us in, that's where I have the problem. And people take this at face value. Some people think this is a viable option if you're in trouble. It is not a viable option. It's one of the least viable options I've ever seen. Total carelessness on really important materials that you have left. This is a great window into how they think. This is a great expose on what's going through their minds. He sees a piece of content, another one did. It's very successful, 40 million views. He does it. He writes all the same stuff that the other guy did. not quite as successful, but just hunting the engagement, likes, subs, and throwing everything out. Integrity, proper procedure, just social media morals right out the window. And to follow up, he just follows the same tropes of engagement and social media interactions when asked serious questions about how this is logical. Textbook influencer brain rot. I really wanted to get some more answers, try to keep it going, but they don't want that. And my theory on that is that they know that this is as shitty as a lot of the comments say it is. I'm not surprised that he used these tactics in the comments, but I'm pretty surprised that he was so persistent. I would just love to, if it was just a moment of self-reflection and just, hey man, you got me. It's a bit of a gimmick. Hey, for the social media content, eh? I would have just loved that. I would have said, hey man, fucking A, do your thing. But can we at least just kind of tone down the whole this is for extreme situation thing, survival bushcraft? That would have been a much nicer conversation, and I would have just gained so much more respect from him if he could just admit the grift that is going on, not just on his page, but at least admit or acknowledge to some degree that this whole scene is going to hell in a handbasket. They won't admit it, and I don't think they ever will. So this was the whole episode 11, an interesting look into the mind of the outdoor influencer. Thank you for watching. So in regard to this content, stay hydrated, not mentally debilitated, and good luck in that jungle of social media out there. This has been a broadcast from the BBC. See you later. For extreme conditions.